Going on today? We're going to talk about a real interesting topic because I think there are a lot of teachers out here who are wanting to do consulting gigs, but are a bit afraid. One second here, but are a bit hesitant because they are working full time in the school system. And so I'm going to talk to you about how to navigate a contract while still being employed full time in the school system, because you should be able to do both, and you can do both, but it requires you to think through the process. So I'm going to give you a hypothetical scenario. So here you are a full time teacher in the school system. You need to bring extra money into your household. You're looking forward to bringing extra money into the household. You've set up the consulting business and you've been soliciting business, and then out of a blue an opportunity pops into your lap where you get 10 days, let's say 10 days of work, where they say, we want to hire you and we need you to come in 10 times over the school year to present. Some of it will be in person, some of it will be virtually, but we're super excited about working with you. And so, what are you going to do? You still work full time in the school system. Tell me, what are the concerns that you currently have? What are you currently thinking? In your current role and what you're currently doing, you get an opportunity to be paid well for 10 days. This can be, let's say it's a $35,000 contract, and that's on the low end. So I'm just giving this for folks who may not have context as to how much consultants make. But let's just say they're going to pay you $35,000 for 10 days of work, and you are currently full time in the school system. What issues, what concerns are coming to your head right now? Put them in the chat for me. Let's have a quick conversation. Put them in the chat for me. If you're with me live, give me a hey, what's up, what's going on? And if you're catching this in the replay, give me a hashtag replay. I'd love to know that you're with me and that this is serving and supporting you. So, what are the questions? What are the thoughts? What are the hesitations? What are the beliefs that are going through your head right now as you think about, oh my goodness, I'm super excited. I just won a contract. I got 10 days. I'm going to make $35,000. This is going to do so much for my family. This is going to help us to be able to get some debt paid off, to be able to get some bills paid off. And then you begin to think to yourself, oh my goodness, how am I going to work these 10 days and still do all the things I need to do in my full-time job? Now, there's a group of us who we're not going to be concerned. We don't call in for 10 days. So for the people who calling in for 10 days, you're fine. But what about the people who maybe you don't have 10 days to call in? Maybe you have a great relationship with your principal. Maybe there are other things that are prohibiting you from just right now being able to see how you can take 10 days off from your current full-time job in the school system and not receive any punishment, penalty, or punitive actions because of you taking days off. So let me help you to understand what needs to happen. So my first question is, and again, for anybody who's joining now, we're talking about how to navigate a contract while still employed in the school system. And the hypothetical situation is you have done all of the work, you've gained a 10-day contract, and now it's time for you to, figure out how you're going to work the 10 days and move forward. Okay, so Mavis said, how will I take care of my class? That's her first thought, her question that she has. What other thoughts and questions are coming to your head about these 10 days that you have the opportunity to make $35,000? First of all, I want you to think about what $35,000 would do for you and your household. What would $35,000 do for you and your household? And if you don't know, typically when you sign on for a contract, you get half up front. So you're going to get about $17,000 deposited into your bank account right after you sign the contract. It'll be there within 7 days. A lot of times it will be there within 2 or 3 days. Hey, intentional integration. I think that's Letitia. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Y'all give me a hey, what's up? What's going on if you're joining me live, and give me a hashtag replay if you're catching this in the replay. So I first want you to think about what $35,000 will do for your household. How many bills can you pay? First, you want you to think about how much do you currently make and what is $35,000 of that? Is that 50%? Is that 40%? Is that 60%? There are some people who only make $50,000 a year, and we know that's quite common as a teacher. That's the median salary for teachers in the United States of America, about $56,000. And now you have this opportunity to bring in an additional $35,000 into your biz, into your home. So, what is, like, think about that. What is that going to do for you? And Mavis also says, how can I make sure it's relevant to the teachers? Okay. Okay. So she's still thinking about what she's going to say about the days that she needs to work. So I want you all to think about this $35,000. How is that going to change your life, your household? And this is $35,000 that's coming in. Half of it up front. You're going to get about 17.5 up front, 17.5 when you finish the work. And so what bills will that pay off? What changes will that make for you? And how much is $35,000 in relation to your current salary? I'm not talking about what it says on that paper. I'm talking about what you actually bring home. Because we all know, and I know very well myself, that I made $116,000 in the school system, but I didn't bring 116 home. After they got through taking out all of their deductions, I was down to 85,000, and that's a lot of money to not bring home. So I want you to think about that. So then the next thing I want you to think about this is, why did you start the consulting business? Why did you determine that you wanted to start a business? Again, we're talking about how to navigate a school contract while being a full-time teacher. And I'm walking you through the thought process and the steps that you need to take and the things that you need to consider as you engage in this work, okay? Because you can do it. Let me be clear. You can do it. I did it. You can do it. And I would walk many women through doing this. So I want to make sure that we are set and ready and prepared for this level of work, because it totally is possible for each and every one of you. Okay, so first of all, I want you to think back to why you started the consulting business. Hey, Marquita. Hey, Dr. Marquita. Why did you start it? Did you start it because you wanted an exit from the classroom? Did you start it because you wanted to bring extra income into your household? Did you start it because you are sick of being fed up? Did you start it because you had a new dream? You wanted to spend more time with your family, with your children? Did you start it because you wanted to be able to travel and work remote, independent of where you make income, independent of where you are? Did you start it because you wanted to create more income and not have it job based? What was the reason why you started the consulting company? And then I asked you to take it back to that. See, because one of the things that we will do as women, we will pray for something, ask for something, work on manifesting something, and then when it comes to us, we run because it scares us. Sometimes stuff be so good, it scares you. It put a little fear in your heart. Here you are, you done all this work to set up this business. You've been dreaming, praying, hoping about this opportunity. Then the opportunity falls into your lap and you instantly start thinking about all of the obstacles, all of the things that are getting in the way. Who's going to be mad and all these things. So I asked you to go back to what is your dream? What was the reason that you started the business? Was it to create extra income? Was it to create an exit strategy out of the school system? What was the reason? For many of us, we want to create an exit strategy out of the school system. Not all of us, but for many of us, we want to be able to leave. We don't want to do 30 years in the school system. We don't want to do 25 years in the school system. Many of us are at 15, 17, 19, 21 years. We've done enough and we're ready to go. I want you to stay focused on the priority. That's what I need you to think about. Here you have an opportunity to bring $35 additional thousand dollars into your household. This will allow you to pay off some of those bills, to get a little savings, to be able to do some of the things that you were not able to do. And so I want you to really think about why you started the business, and now why, after you've prayed for this, why you're creating obstacles to your own success. See, many of us are looking for permission. You don't need permission. You don't need permission. Now, stay with me now. Stay with me, because I'm going to talk to you about how to navigate this, but we got to get our minds right first. So many of us are looking for permission. You don't need permission from your principal. First of all, we are too grown to be going to ask for permission. Some of y'all right now go and ask for permission to take a day off. I've never been of that mindset. I make you aware I won't be in tomorrow, But I'm not asking you for permission. You don't pay any of my bills. You don't support me in any other way. And the only reason why I get a check from here is because I come to work every day. So I'm not asking you for permission. That will never happen where I come from. I'm not going to say, is it okay? Can I? Will you be okay with? No, no, sir, no, ma'am. No, no ham, no turkey, none of that. No, we're not asking for permission. We're making people aware that I'm going to be out for a few days. Some of us, we don't need to make them aware. If we're taking a sick day, girl, guess what? I'm sick. I'm sick. But let's keep going. Okay, so some of us are hoping to get permission. I can tell you right now, there are very few principals, there are a few who are going to give you permission to leave your job to go make some extra money on another job and leave them with the bag at your normal location to need to figure out your sub, to need to figure out your kids. That's not going to happen. I need you to stop thinking that this is a friendly, situation. It's not. You have to have your best interests at heart. You have to know that you are the priority, not that school, not those kids, not that principal. Even if you and your principal was cool. Me and my superintendent, we were cool. Me and my other principal colleagues, we were cool. Me and the people in my building, we were cool. I bet I wasn't asking no permission. I bet I wasn't putting them in my business like that. So I'm just saying, okay, so we're not asking for permission, and we're not worrying about ruffling any feathers. Next, we got a set of limiting beliefs we got to deal with. We got to deal with, some of the limiting beliefs that we have. Well, what if it goes wrong? What if it don't? What if they cancel? What if it? Why are you worried about what are all of the what ifs? And why are all of them negative? Why are there no positive what ifs is what I want to know. Like, do you ever think to yourself, what if this goes so well, and in addition to these 10 days, they give me 10 more days? What if I establish a really great relationship with them and we continue to work together year after year? What if I get into this room and meet some amazing people? And what if after I finish this work, I can go and solicit the other buildings in the district and get additional work from them? So I want us to stop with the limiting beliefs and limiting our skills and our abilities, because I know that there is someone right now who is listening, who's thinking to themselves, like, what if it don't go right? Well, stop all of that. Stop all of that. Those are limiting beliefs and they don't serve you. Do you wake up in the morning saying, what if I get out the bed and walk and bust my head and go into a coma? No, you get out the bed and you think, I'm going to the bathroom to use the bathroom and I'm going to get ready for the day. You don't think anything negative. So why is it that when it comes to your skills and abilities, everything has to go straight to the negative, even though you've been quite successful in your life, in your learning, in your entire existence? It doesn't make sense. Dr. Marquita says, I used to have a SIG gig that overlapped with the school year. It required me to go to headquarters for a week every spring. Let's see. Let me put it on the screen. It required me to go to headquarters for a week every spring. This week was not during spring break. I went every year and didn't tell nobody where I was for the whole week. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so this is what I need us to understand. So that was Dr. Marquita's statement. Now, if you're on Instagram, you're getting a bit of a broken up, because it gives you that portrait view on Instagram. But work with me anyway. And if you want to come over to Facebook, we're on Facebook Live where you get to see the full transaction. Okay, so then my next thing is, first of all, know what your dream is. And if you're working towards your dream, you're working towards your dream. You can't have two priorities. The job can't be your priority and the consulting business. You got to figure out which one is your priority. That doesn't mean that you're going to slack in either one, but I am telling you that you need to pick a priority. Part of the problem is that we have too many priorities, and we know that when you have competing priorities, neither one of them get the attention that they need. So you need to determine what is your priority and put that as number one. That's number one. If you're in the school system, you already have that job. It's already secured. So that shouldn't be your priority. Your priority should be the consulting business that you're working to build. So the next thing, we're not looking for permission. We're not looking for permission from the principal. We're not looking for permission from the superintendent. We're not looking for permission from our colleagues. And truth be told, we shouldn't be looking for permission from our spouses either, because you are grown adult women. Many of you have raised children and you have done extraordinary things. You pay your bills and you care for yourself. You don't need permission from anybody but yourself. Okay. A part of this comes from the idea of people pleasing. We don't want anybody to be mad with us. We don't want to ruffle any feathers. We don't want our colleagues to talk about us behind our backs. What people say about you is none of your business. You need to mind the business that pays you. Point blank, period. Next, we have a fear. The fear is that we're going to lose our comfort. That's the fear. We have a fear that if I go do these 10 days, if I go do this work, if I go do this extra money, it might create a problem at my current job. And I'm comfortable at my current job. So I don't want to lose my current job for this thing. That is comfort. And there is no reward in the comfort zone. So if you think that you're going to get you got the reward that you're getting already. What you got is what you're getting. And so so you need to determine if that works for you or not. And if that doesn't work for you, then you're going to need to make a different set of choices. So in order to face fear, and you can only have fear if the other option is courage. So it's going to take a bit of courage to say, I'm doing this. This benefits my household. My household, me and my family come first. Not this school, not this principal, not these students. We all love the kids, but you need to love your own kids more. And even if that kid is your dog, okay, it don't matter if you don't have kids. The school should not be your number one priority. And for those of us who have a spiritual upbringing, you know that you wasn't put here just to work no job. You know that the Lord didn't say this should be your priority. No, that's not what happened. Many of us have made these jobs and these places of employment our God. Everything operates around the job. I can't do that, girl. You know I got to work. Nah, I can't do that because you know my job this, my job that. Anytime that the job is the main priority, Houston, we got a problem. We got a problem. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to say you need courage. You need to understand that in order to exhibit courageous actions, there must be something that's fearful in front of you. And so in order to address that, you need to go ahead and own the fact that I'm scared. The fear is going to continue to be there. I've been doing this for 6 years now. I still experience fear and I still exhibit courage by getting up and showing up every single time. There has not been a time where I was like, whoo, I got this in the bag. Some of them I've done over and over again. I'm doing a live event in February in Atlanta at the Black Butterfly. And I'm still like, oh my goodness, I am so nervous. I got to get everything set up. Child, I done 4, 5 of these things. I know the process. My assistant is like, Dr. D, what are you doing? Why are you doing all this when you already know what to do? And because it's scary. Do it scared. We all do it scared every day. I have not talked to any business owner, 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure, 9-figure. I've talked all the way up to 10-figure business owners, and every one of them said they do it scared every day. Every day. So I suggest to you to do it scared. The other thing is, and I'm gonna give you more concrete stuff in just a minute, bear with me, is that so many of us are addicted to the struggle. We're so set on creating a fight. We want to fight. And if there is nothing to fight, you don't know how to act. People, we need to take the path of least resistance. You were sitting there, you did a couple of actions, and this opportunity fell into your lap. That's the path of least resistance. What are you talking about? Why is there even a question as to whether or not you should take this opportunity? Why is that even a thought? Why is that? I'm going to tell you why. Because we engage in overthinking and overanalyzing things. That's what we do as high achievers. And I need us to stop it and stop it right now. We're addicted to the struggle. We're addicted to things being hard, having to find solutions, needing to figure things out. We're addicted to the struggle. And I need us to stop. You need to stop. If this is you, you need to stop. Take the path of least resistance. You do not have to overthink this. You only need to know the next step. Let me give you an example. The call comes in. Hey, we loved your proposal. We appreciated you sending that to us. We are super excited about working with you. We want to sign up for 10 days. We want to get you in here working with our teachers, and we're ready. Your next step is to be excited and to say, absolutely, yes, I'm super excited about this partnership. I know we're going to do amazing work together. Let's get some dates on the calendar. You move with the next thing. You don't need to know the next 5, 6, 8, 10 steps. You need to take the next step. The next step is to realize you won the contract. The next step is to realize you're about to bring extra money into your household. You're about to work in your area of expertise. You're about to support some teachers and educators who really need this work in their school, in their classroom, in their district. That's where your mind should be at, not on all of those other what ifs. So it's the overthinking and the overanalyzing that creates the problem. Now, some of y'all gonna say, wait, come on now. Some of y'all gonna say, but what about I gotta find the sub. And for some school systems, you just put it into the computer system, the thing finds the sub, and you go on about your business. First of all, I need us not to care. Yep, I said it. Stop worrying about what your colleague is going to think. Stop worrying about if they're going to split your class up between the other 3 teachers. Stop worrying about what your colleagues going to say. Stop worrying about if your principal going to be mad. Stop worrying about if the reading specialist got to sit in your classroom and teach your class because you're gone. Because guess what? That ain't your business. You put in for your day to be off, go be off. It ain't their business what you're doing. And you need to not run your mouth and tell them what you're doing. But what if you need to find your own sub? Because there are some school systems where you need to find your own sub. I'm going to tell you the truth. Girl, listen here. If you fell out with COVID, do you think you will be finding your own sub? No, they're telling you that because that is the principal's job to find the sub. If you was in the hospital in a coma, would you find your own sub? So you ask a few people, and if they say no, then you are informing the principal. I did check with Miss Jones, Miss James, and Miss Tennis, and they all said no, so I couldn't find a sub, but I won't be in tomorrow. I just wanted to make sure you know so that you all can do what you need to do to cover the class. That is not your problem. That is not a part of your contractual duties to find your own replacement or recovery when you are out. That is not your job. It is a courtesy whether you know it or not. And even though it is a guideline at your job, what are they going to do? Fire you? Let's be honest. What they going to do? Fire you? I just need us to think about that. So if you need to find your own sub, if you can find somebody, awesome. If you can't, toodles, too bad. We can't worry about upsetting the apple cart. Let me tell you, no person has ever done anything amazing of value and that contributes to society that didn't ruffle any feathers. And if you're scared to ruffle any feathers, you're in the wrong line of work. You're in the wrong line of work. So, and then what if you just put it into the system? Put it into the system. You sick. I'm sick. The 10 days are not back to back. They're not back to back. They're not. They're spread out over the calendar. The next thing we're going to talk about is what about when you need to miss some other days? So you have this opportunity that fell into your lap. So this is the hypothetical situation, y'all. You got this opportunity that fell into your lap, 10 days to make $35,000. And you're a full-time teacher in the classroom. But you also know that you have maybe a wedding coming up. Maybe you have 2 other conferences that you plan to attend. And maybe you normally take 2 days off to go on a family vacation. So what happens now? What about these other days? Take them. Still take them. See, because this is going back to what is the priority. So that's why you got to determine what is the priority at the beginning. Is the priority, what was the dream to begin with? Was the dream to exit the school system? Because if the dream is to exit the school system and this is a conduit to exiting the school system, then your loyalties cannot lie to the school. Your loyalties must lie to your dream. However, if this is just something that's going to bring in extra income in your household, then you might need to consider not doing some of those other things or figuring out another way to do it. But I also got something for that too. So, me personally, when I was exiting the school system, I was at every conference. I did some paid events. I did all those things. I missed more days that year than any other year, but I also knew that I was leaving. Did the other people know I was leaving? No, they did not. But guess what? I wasn't going to say, what did they say about me while I was gone? What did the superintendent? No, I didn't say that. What people say about you is none of your business. So what is your dream? Stay focused on your dream. And remember that when you're in that school system, you're making other people's dreams come true. You're making the principal's dream come true. You're making the superintendent's dreams come true. You're making the kids' dreams come true. What about your own dream? So then my next question or comment to you is, I also want you to consider the fact that, and this was one of the things. Oh, hey, Tangeray, hey. So I'm gonna put it on the screen for us. So then she say facts, making sense, reframing your thinking. Absolutely. So I also want you to think about this when you get these days, and it could be any number of days. It could be 5 days, it could be 8 days, it could be 3 days, it could just be 1 day. But for this situation, we're saying 10 days. Who said that all schools have the same days off? I live in Missouri, and all these districts got different days off. They have different days off. And let me tell you this little thing that we as educators try to do. We try to make the days fit around the days in our district. So we'll look at the calendar and we'll say, well, we got a PD day this day, we got a holiday this day, we got this day. So I'm just gonna try to do it on the days that I'm off. I'm gonna tell you the truth. That works very seldom. Very seldom does that work. Okay. So what you need to be thinking is a little bit more strategic. You need to be thinking to yourself, how can I do these 10 days with the least amount of impact on my full-time job? Okay. So then you think to yourself, what if I see if we can do 3 days back to back or 2 days back to back, or perhaps we can do 2 days each month for 5 months. That way I'm only missing 2 days each month for 5 months, or 1 day each month for 9 months. But I would definitely try to group some days together. Then I would also see what are the virtual options, because a lot of times there is a virtual option. And I can tell you right now, for a contract that is more than 3 or 4 days, you typically can do part of it virtual. And so you need to think to yourself, maybe I can just do a half a day, because it is not a good plan to try to do a virtual day, a virtual PD day at your school while at school. Let me make sure that I'm being clear. It's not a good plan to try to do a virtual PD day for another school while trying to work a full day at your school. It's not going to work. Don't do it. Too many anomalies can happen. You're thinking to yourself, oh, this is just a 90-minute session. I'm just going to go to my car and do it in your car. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you're going to do that, you're going to take a half a day off and you're going to be at home. And then you'll come in a half a day. Okay. You're going to take a late start in the morning, do your PD, and then come to work afterwards. But we're not double dipping. That's what we're not doing. It's too many ways for it to be messed up and not go right when you try to do both on site at school. So with your virtual option, you can always choose to do a half a day. You can choose to do a late start. You can choose to leave early. Again, I'm not telling you, I never told my business, even when I needed to go to the doctor. I didn't say I had a doctor's appointment. I need to leave. I have a personal matter. I'm taking a day off. I have a personal matter. I'm taking a personal day. I'm going to utilize one of my sick days. I'm going to utilize one of my FMLA days. I don't explain. Grown people do not have to explain to other grown people who do not pay their bills, who do not take care of their households. And the problem is, we've set a precedent of explaining, getting permission, and making people think that you are coming to them to get the permission. We're not doing that. When I need to be off, I put in for a personal day. I won't be in tomorrow. My sub plans are on the desk, and I just wanted to make you aware. I'm just FYIing you. I'm not asking for your permission. I don't care if you're mad. I don't care if you don't have a sub. I don't care if the sub pool is completely drowned. That's not my problem. And I've had that situation to happen before where the principal said, well, there are no subs in the sub pool. Several people took off tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to be able to grant you that day. Okay, that's fine. I won't be here, but you don't have to grant me the day. I'm not coming. I'm letting you know I won't be here. And I would hate for the kids to be in the room without a teacher or an adult there to, be accountable for them. No, those are scare tactics. And they don't work, but they don't work for me. And I would hope that they don't work for you. Tangeray says, nah, I'm not going that even when I attend sessions as a teacher, I'm at home. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I want you to think about that. But I also want you to think about, look at your calendar and just say, we're just going to take right now. Let's say you got a contract right now. It's January and this is until May and you need to do 10 days. Well, common sense tells you that between January and May, you're going to have to do 2 to 3 days each time. Each time you're going to have to do 2 to 3 days. So you're going to batch it. It's easier to miss days 2 or 3 times together than to miss Wednesday this week, Thursday next week, and Friday the next week. That's what makes people look crazy at you. When you say, I'm going to be out, and I'll be out, and I always go for the full, like if it's 3 days before I have to turn in a doctor's statement, I take 3 days. I come back right before. At our job, it was 5 days. So I would take 3, 4, or 5 days, and I would come back and I have to turn in a doctor's statement. So I want you to know, like, if it's January to May, think about you're going to do 3 days initially in January. Maybe you're going to do 3 days in February. That's 6 days. Maybe you're going to do 2 days in March. That's 8 days. And maybe you're going to do 2 days in May. That's your 10 days right there. And what I would do is I would submit a week. Like I would say, you can pick your PD days. The time that's available on my calendar is the week of January 21st through the 27th. You can select 3 days from January. For February, I'm available February 22nd through the 28th. You can select 3 days from March. So I would send them a whole week, let them select the 2 days. They're typically back to back. And then I would begin to plan from there. Still being excited, still knowing that $35,000 will change a lot of our families' lives. Like in a year, come on now, adding an additional $35,000 to your household, that's life-changing for many of us. So I don't want you to think about PD days and holidays and breaks and all of that. Don't even think about that. You need to be thinking to yourself, look at the calendar. What are the weeks that I'm willing to, give them and let them select from? Because I can tell you right now, most school systems are not going to pick a Monday or a Friday, first of all. They are not. Mondays are bad days for PD, and Fridays teachers are ready to go. They will pick a Friday if that's their normal PD, and they have an early release. A lot of school systems do Wednesdays. They do a late start Wednesday or a late start Wednesday or early release Wednesday. There are some schools that have an early release on Thursday for just PD. And so you don't know what their schedule is. What I'm not going to recommend is that you go to that school district's website trying to figure out what days they're going to pick. Again, you're overthinking it. Batch the days, people. That's right. Tangeray says that makes sense. Batch the days. Then you have the virtual or in-person option. One of the questions would be, are all of these sessions in person, or is there a portion of the work that is virtual? That makes all of the difference, because sometimes we overthink it for nothing. Okay, and then we got to address the question of, like, when this is presented to you, How are you feeling? Like, did you feel excited? Did you feel like, oh my goodness, this is it? I'm ready to go. Because if you did, then you know that you're doing the right thing. But if you got the invite to do the work and you were like, oh my God, I can't do this, this is horrible, then you're probably not ready to move into consulting. A lot of times we overthink and we overanalyze things for no reason. That does not serve you. It does not serve you. If you only think about the next step that you need to take, the next step is to say yes. I'm going to tell you something else that does not serve you and something that leaders frown upon. And I'm telling you, as a former leader and someone who works only with leaders, I am a leadership coach and I work only with leaders and high achieving leaders at that. They do not like when you send them back all those questions. The questions should be straight to the point where they can answer yes, no, be done. But all these back and forth emails, no, they would rather get on the phone, have a conversation because nobody has time to sit and answer those questions. The response should be super excited to begin this partnership. I'll send you a list of 10 dates that are available. They should not know that you are still working full time in the school system. They should not know that. If they know that, that is problematic. If you have said to them, well, I still work full time in the school system, that means that your priority is that school system and not this consulting that you're doing. They should not be aware of that. Your response should be, I'm super excited to begin this partnership. I've included a list of weeks that I have availability on my calendar. Let me know if these work for you. And if they don't, give me the alternate dates and let me see if I can work around them and move some things around. Again, I'm super excited. I'm going to get my invoice set up to get sent over to you. And if you like, we can set up a call to go over the next steps, or we can continue to correspond in email. Period, point blank. See how that email was not long. It was super short. You're going to give a block of dates a week from every month that works for you, and you're going to move on. Again, understanding that they're not going to pick that Monday and Friday unless they do Friday PD days. Other than that, it's going to be a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Do you hear me? It's going to be a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. I can count on my hand the number of days that I've done a PD on a Monday. I've done a few, and most of those were small group PDs. They were not big group PDs. And on Friday, it was always for early release. But for the most part, my PDs were on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I want you to understand that. And I want you to know that you can do this. You have the obligation to put yourself and your family as the priority. That is your obligation. That is your obligation as a human being. Self-preservation. And I don't know how we think we're going to leave the classroom still being 100% dedicated to the classroom. You can't do both. You cannot become and remain. So you got to determine, is this the thing that I want to do? This opportunity has presented itself. Let me go ahead and take up this opportunity and see what other opportunities I can create from this opportunity. Y'all with me? Are y'all with me? Give me some comments in the chat. Y'all just letting me talk and y'all ain't saying nothing, ain't got no questions or any of that. Come on now. Come on now. So I want us to understand that you can do this. Look here, teachers do it all the time. I talk to teachers all the time who are teaching full time and consulting and making good money. That's how they riding around in these Lexuses and these Range Rovers. Yes, as teachers, and y'all wondering, how is she in that Mercedes Benz? Because she do a PD every month that bring her in $2,000, and that $2,000 is what she used to pay her car note and some other stuff with. Tangeray says, I needed this today. I need a strategy. Marquita says, you cooking today, Doc? Because look here, it's folks who are not going after contracts because you work full time in the school system. Understanding that a contract could be 2 days, it could be 3 days, it could be 1 day. And we are not going after the contract because we are afraid that it's going to mess up the current job that we have. First of all, y'all need to get signed up for that Launch Your Ed Consulting Biz Challenge. That is January 15th through the 19th so you can get your business set up appropriately and we can get you some money coming into your household. Second of all, we got to stop wanting to fight and take the hardest road. I'm giving you the path to least resistance. I'm saying this to you. It's resonating with you. And then you keep second guessing, overthinking, overanalyzing, going through. Girl, if you don't get signed up for this Launch Your Ed Consulting Biz Challenge, so I can tell you all the things you need to do, what systems you need to have, explain to you and show you how you're going to make money and help you to set up your consulting business. It's enough work for all of us. There is no shortage of work in the school systems. You can't even do 1% of the work. There are 113,000 school districts in the United States of America. You can't even do 1% of that. In reality, if you get 5 to 6 contracts in a year and you have them priced appropriately, you will be able to live a 6-figure life. Now, I'm going to advise that once we get the first 6 figures, that then we begin to double them 6 figures and then double them 6 figures until we're at a number that's comfortable for us. Okay? But the Launch Your Ed Consulting Business Challenge is January 15th through the 19th. The link is in my bio. No excuses. It's only $97. Look here. I made it accessible for everybody. So there's no excuse for you not being able to afford to do it. It's after hours in the evening, 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So you're not at work anymore. Now the people in California, y'all might have to catch the beginning in the replay. You're going to have access to replays, so you'll be able to watch it even if you have to miss a day. I'm telling you, 1 hour, if we all just took 1 hour each day to work towards changing our lives and not get caught up in the status quo, man, I'm telling you, things will be so different for us. And Tangeray said, do the VIP. Tangeray did the challenge. That's how I got connected with Tangeray. She did the challenge. Come on now. So I want y'all to know you can have a full-time job and do consulting and bring extra income into your household. You can do consulting and plan to leave your full-time job as well. You just have to know what your dream is and understand that it's up to you to make it come true. I can't come do the work for you. I can't do that. You got to do that yourself, but I will definitely give you all of the steps and make sure that you understand at the highest level what consulting is, what it looks like, what it's not, how to make money, different streams of income, because it's enough for all of us. Abundance is your birthright. It's your birthright, people. And we have let other people talk us out of this. You at work doing a good job. They always calling on you. They always looking for you. The principal calling your cell phone. Sis, you being underpaid. You being underpaid. And your services are more valued in other districts while it's not valued in your own. I'm just saying. All right, that's all I got for y'all. I ain't got no more because you know I can go on and on. But I wanted to come on here just to let y'all know you can do both. You can do both, folks. So, all right, y'all. Y'all have a good rest of your day. I don't see any questions in the chat, so I'm going to go on about my business. Y'all have a good rest of your day, all right?